Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. I want to say Shalom to the Akim and Akwath out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you with another lesson. This one's going to pertain to the subject of, um, trying to always save the earth, save the environment, save animals. Um, trying to basically play God in a sense, you know, which is really what they're trying to do. That's why they come up with these weird, crazy inventions that you see all the time. You see all these all these activists coming out trying to like save the whales, you know, save the save the whatever you want to put in there, animal, whether it's earth, whether it's greenhouse gases polluting the environment. They always have something that they're always trying to save. So we're going to basically be getting in on that subject. We're going to be hitting this article first. This is the first one that I saw. It says carbon dioxide levels hit 50% higher than pre-industrial time. Scientists say I'll actually just go along with it. Scientists say the annual peak of global heat trapping carbon dioxide in the air has reached another dangerous milestone, 50% higher than when the industrial age began. So they're saying that um, these carbon dioxide levels are higher than when the industrial age began. And let's see if we can go to industrial age. Said it began around 1760 in Great Britain and other countries, characterized by the replacement of hand tools with power-driven machines such as the power loom, steam engine. You know, so basically, when they started creating, these chemical producing plants that they have everywhere. If you live in a big city, you see these things. Um, but yeah, let's just get in the article here a little bit. Uh, the annual peak of global heat trapping carbon dioxide in the air has reached another dangerous milestone, 50% higher than when the industrial age began. And the average rate of increase is faster than ever, scientists reported Monday. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said the average carbon dioxide level for May was 419.13 parts per million, and that's 1.82 parts per million higher than May 2020 and 50% higher than the stable pre-industrial levels of 280 parts per million, said NOAA climate scientist Peter Tans. Now, take this with a grain of salt because these so-called scientists always like to come up with numbers that they basically just pull out of thin air. They say they have tools and other shit, that they can use to basically calculate all these things. It's like the census, that they do. They do these things where they run around and they try to figure out things, carbon dating and all that shit. Um, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna basically get on this article because there's not much I need to go into it. What they're basically saying is that carbon dioxide levels are rising higher than they were before the industrial age began, and that's just basically, I'm not going into on everything. I'm just basically showing you um, these things that these Edomites and these scientists say are happening. Here's another article. It says this is pertaining to a different subject. Great apes predicted to lose 90% of homelands in Africa, studies find. You can see this. It says all gorillas, chimpanzees, and bonobos are already endangered, critically endangered, but a combination of the climate crisis and the destruction of wild areas for minerals, timber, food, and human population growth is on a track to decimate their ranges by 2050. So they basically predict these things, No, sometimes they come true and sometimes they don't. But the main um, the main deal with this is that Esau thinks that they have some sort of control over, these animals, whether these animals, these situations that are happening to the earth, they think they have some sort of control over it. And, well, a lot of the time, it's them in the first place that are the reason that these animals are going endangered. When in reality, that all just goes back to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, setting things up. But these things that are happening, if you see all like this, like it said, it's causing because of the destruction of wild areas for minerals, timber, and food. So basically, these these Edomites are driving these animals to their destruction, essentially. But in reality, at the end of the day, there's nothing that these people could have done, anything like that, because it's all what Yahweh Shem Yahushai has set out. I'm just gonna get out of these articles. Here's another one talking about we're running out of time to reach a deal to reach we are running out of time to reach deal to save natural world. Warning comes amidst fears of further delays to coming Kunming summit, which aims to agree on curbing destruction of ecosystems. It's all just some scientific shit. But basically, I'm not going to go and get on the articles. There's millions of these things that are put out all the time talking about protecting the environment. We got stuff like this that the NOAA that was mentioned. It's basically protecting our planet starts with you. All these different things that we're supposed to be doing, but that's just not going to happen, man. That's not the plan that Yahweh Shem Yahushai set up. We're not going to just turn a new leaf, in a couple of weeks or even a year. It's not going to happen because these things are all set out to happen. It's set out to, this place is defiled. It's already going to be destroyed in the first place. So there's no point in trying to make this place habitable, to be able to be lived in for long periods of time. Because, they say, oh, if something's going to happen in the planet by, the year 3000 or whatever, more than likely, Lord willing, we're not going to even be here at that point. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to already have fixed this place up, where it's not going to be given to us in a state of disarray that these Edomites have left it in. So, with that, I'm going to grab some scriptures and go into some topics, pertaining to the scriptures. This is Second Esdras 8:27. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in afflictions. So this is basically talking about, um, not giving in to these weird, crazy, wicked inventions that these heathens are making, these Edomites, these other nations. But we're supposed to be having desiring those that keep the testimonies and afflictions. If we can go down here, um, I can just actually read up from 24. Oh, hear the prayer of thy servant, and give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. O look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep the testimonies and afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will uh, have known thy fear. Let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but look upon them that have clearly taught the law. You know, so the we're not supposed to be looking up to these Edomites, and their inventions, and these other nations and their inventions that they make, because they always have, like for example, there's been word on NASA with a cloud machine basically can change the weather, make it rain, make it snow, do all this stuff, and if you just look it up, they got all these crazy things. They got stuff, like Neuralink, that Elon Musk is making. It's a chip that goes in your brain. Apparently it can make people that are paraplegic, that can't walk. It can make them walk again, supposedly. Um, and they're basically gonna be doing the same thing with the mark of the beast, RFID chip. They're gonna be, saying that it has some crazy powers. People have already got it, and they're like unlocking their cars with it. Some people are. It's been used for employees to access vending machines essentially and refrigerators, and to keep basically it's like a lock essentially that you can lock on stuff. People have been using it for cryptocurrency too, I believe. So but we're not supposed to be all these crazy things that come out. We're not supposed to be like regarding those things, holding high regard to those things. We're not supposed to be, you know, um, giving these people praise. We're supposed to be, giving praise to the Most High and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And if we're looking after the ways of someone, it should be Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his apostles, prophets that are teaching his words. We're not supposed to be in this flesh, because when you're doing not living carnally, Shlakia, when you're in this when you're in this truth, that's one of the things you got to drop is it's the carnality and the being fleshly. So you can't be in this truth and thinking oh, I want to make this crazy invention that's gonna cause harm, or watching or or holding high praise of these people that are making these things. You're first and foremost your all of your um Slakia, mine's going out. The Trying to look for the word. Um, Basically, you should be giving your time into these, investing your time into the scriptures and into this truth, not investing your time in these other whatever else you got going on. If you play sports, if you're out there playing sports 24/7, if you're out there playing games 24/7, no matter what you do, you can do these things, but you gotta set aside time in the day to pertain into this truth, to do stuff that's involving this truth, to build your spirit up. Because if your spirit's not built up, when this destruction comes, you're not gonna be in a good way. You're not gonna be able to. You're basically gonna break down because you haven't built yourself up to the knowledge, given yourself the knowledge and understanding about what's gonna go down in the end. And so when all this hits you, you don't want to be, you know, uh, blinded. You don't want to be hit without seeing what's going down. You don't want to be coming into this unknowingly. You gotta know what's gonna go down, so when you see it happen, you'll be able to, uh, basically coincide it with biblical prophecies and biblical scriptures. You don't want to be out there with not having any understanding at all, because you're not going to really be understanding what's going down, and that's just going to eventually lead to your death, man. This is Ecclesiasticus 14:7. And if he doeth good, doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. So, that's another thing that they do, these Edomites. All these things that they create, they're not intended to help in any way, shape, or form. They're not meant to better a situation. They're actually meant to make it worse. So if they do end up creating some by some crazy well, it would really be Yahweh Shem Yahushai that would make it happen. If they end up creating something that actually does good, they did it unwillingly. That's it's basically the Yahweh Shem Yahushai made them made them create it that way. For example, you could they could end up trying to make some pill that kills people, and it ends up backfiring on them. It doesn't end up killing people. It ends up like curing cancer or something like that. And people are gonna, hold that with high praise. Like, oh, look at this. They made a pill that cured cancer, but in reality, it wasn't even meant to do that in the first place. And the other thing is they would never even release a pill that would cure cancer, because, like, there's been several people say it's much more um, it's much more makes you more money lack of a better word, it makes you more money to go through the chemo and other treatments like that instead of just curing it. And they do that with a lot of these diseases. They could treat them, they could cure them, and I'm sure they already know cures for them. But they don't want to cure it. What they want to do is they want to treat it because treating it leads up to more money in the long run. So one more time on Ecclesiasticus 14:7, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Let's go here. Um, I'll just give context on this, and this isn't just these Edomites and Babylon, and they call it the United States. It's Babylon. It's biblical Babylon. It's not just this place that these things are going down, and that these wicked inventions are going down, and these profane things um, that have spawned from this place, because all these other nations have started taking up these pastimes and these these things that Babylon is doing. And this scripture here basically explains that. It's Revelation 18:3. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So these other nations that you see, um, Japan's a good one. Um, for example, they're big on the technology and science and creating all of these inventions and doing all this crazy stuff. And before they were into all that, back in the ancient days, they were very religious people. Of course, they weren't worshiping. They were worshiping idols. They weren't worshiping Yao Ba Shem Yao Shai, because it's not their god in the first place. But that's how they were. But even with their religion, their idol worship, that's basically gone under too, and they're focusing on creating these technologies to for self-perseverance, extending their life, um, messing with weather, it's trying to get to space and all this crazy stuff, and that's because all these nations have drunk of the wine of Babylon, so they're basically walking in the ways of Babylon. They want to be like that. For example, another one that's good is in India, the whole Punjabi thing. If you look up, if we go to like Bollywood, you see, we've got basically Bollywood is like a whole thing where it's like music, movies, plays, and they're all heavily heavily influenced by the Hollywood film market over here. That's why they call it Bollywood. As you can see, it's a film industry. Um, and so basically, that's spread through everywhere. You got people in Africa that have tried to come up and start making Hollywood-like films, because all these nations they aspire to be like Babylon. They want that so-called freedom, in which we don't even have in the first place, and they want to be just like this country. This is Jeremiah 17:5. Thus saith the Lord, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. This is basically going in on what I mentioned. You're not supposed to be being carnal in these things and doing things like this, especially if you're Jake. Because when you're involved in all these things, and when you're doing these fleshly things, these carnal things, and you're trusting, especially with the stick, the stabbing, without saying too much of, you brothers out there know what I'm talking about. The government stabbing, um, that helps you supposedly. Um, it's that's when you do those things. And when you take those things and you want these things, that's being fleshly, and you're trusting in man. And basically, which the man has no power over you in any shape or form. It's all Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And these you think these people are here to help you, but the government's never been out to help anyone, not even themselves. There's a specific group of people, the elites, that are trying to, get with self-perseverance and trying to make themselves last forever. But those people, those elites, don't even care about the other Edomites that are down on in at the bottom of this thing. All they really care about is themselves. So they're not trying to help you. They're not trying to help anyone. What they're trying to do is they're trying to find a way to help themselves. They would never help you, and if they did, it would be unwillingly. And lastly, this is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So these elites and these Edomites that are coming up with these inventions, and that are killing people, that are killing our people, and even not even that, just murdering us in general, not even pertaining to an invention, and these things that they're trying to do, through slavery and the murder of our people, the cops gunning us down in the street, and all these things. This land has become defiled, and it's become polluted, and the only way that that's going to be, cleansed is by the blood of the person, the people that shed it, which is Esau and Edom. So no matter what these people do, this land is going to remain polluted and defiled until Yahweh Shem Yahushai comes back and destroys this place. And so, and that's how we're going to get this place back. That's how, when the kingdom gets translated, it's not going to be given to us in this state. We're not going to have these big, we're not going to have the Empire State Building and these Trump Towers and all these landmarks that were built up by Esau and Edom, and even stuff that Jake built. That's not going to be, around. This whole earth has to be cleansed and basically remade, and that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do. And it's going to be remade, and it's going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. You can't even imagine how beautiful it's going to be. But that's all I really had to get on. There's no way that you can save this place in any shape or form. The only person that's going to come and save this place and will save uh, his people is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and that's the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, um, as we're called in this land. Which really were the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Um, But yeah, so no matter what these people say, no matter what you try to do, there's no way you can save this place or try to turn it back. You can't save that dolphin or anything like that, because at the end of the day, this has all been set up by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because it has to play out in a certain way so he can come back and give us our salvation for the elect. Lord willing that I'm part of it, Lord willing you brothers and sisters are part of it. But that's all I really had to go in on. Don't fall into these snares and these traps that these wicked people set, these Edomites set, and that you can just change this place, because there's no changing it. As you can see from, in the last 30, 40 years, even before I was born, this place has gone a progressive uh, decline, and it's only getting worse. And they've been trying to switch it back, and there's nothing that they can do. It's impossible. So with that, I'm going to close out. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Hope this lesson was edifying. Um, you know, stay watchful out there. Um, keep the faith, until the next one. Shalom.